Welcome back to mini video series on fractions. So in this video, let's take a look at dividing fractions. So before we divide any fraction, I would like to introduce this word called reciprocals. So normally, reciprocal, as we normally remember, is flipping. Okay, flipping the fraction, which that's basically what the word means. So if I have a number like a two, okay, two means 2 over 1. So the reciprocal of 2 means I will flip my fraction. So that will become 1/2. Okay, that's what reciprocal means. And the product of the two reciprocal will always equal to 1. That's always going to be true mathematically. So when it comes to dividing fraction, okay, we don't actually divide by the fraction. Instead, what we say is multiply by its reciprocal. So if I got two fractions being multiplied, then the first fraction will always be the same. The second fraction, we will say times the reciprocal. So that means the second fraction will have to be flipped. So once we flip them, they become multiplication of fractions. So let's take a look. 22 over 45 divided by 33 over 40. So division of a fraction means times the reciprocal. So the first fraction stays the same. The second fraction, we will say times the reciprocal. So that will become 40 over 33. So now this division problem becomes multiplication problem. So when we multiply in fraction, we can reduce top number with the bottom number first before we multiply. So the 22 on top and the 33 in the bottom can be reduced by who? By 11, which is one of the prime numbers. So if I reduce it by 11, 11 going to 22, 2 times. 11 going to 33, 3 times. All right, now I can reduce the 40 and the 45 by 5. 5 going to 40, 8 times. 5 going to 45, 9 times. So my numerator is 2 and 8. Denominator is 9 and 3. So they cannot be reduced. Top and bottom. So I now multiply them side by side. My answer, 16 over 9 times 3, 27. All right, let's try one with the negatives. So again, the multiplying, dividing with the negatives is the same rule. So a negative fraction divided by a positive fraction, negative divided by a positive, my answer will be negative. Okay, so my final answer would be negative. So 7 over 20 divided by 18 over 6. Division of a fraction means times the reciprocal, which will become 6 over 18. So I know my 7 on top cannot be reduced with 20 or 18 down here. The 6 can be reduced with the 18 or the 20. But I'm going to reduce 6 and 18 by 6. So 6 going to 6 one time, 6 going to 18 3 times. All right, so 7 on top can now reduce with the 20 or the 3. So now I multiply them side by side. So my final answer, negative 7 over 60. All right, let's try another one, okay? A negative a fraction divided by another negative. Negative fraction divided by another negative fraction will be positive answer. Okay, so I'm not worried about my signs anymore because my final answer will be a positive answer. So my first fraction does not change. 7 over 20 divided by 18 over 12 means times the reciprocal, which will be 12 over 18. All right, now I'm going to reduce my top numerators with my denominators. 7 cannot reduce with 20 or 18. So the 12 and 18 can be reduced by 6 or by 2. 12 can also be reduced with 20. So I'm just going to pick one of them to start with. I'm going to do 12 and 18 top and bottom. By 6, I'm going to reduce them by 6. 6 going to 12 2 times. 6 going to 18 3 times. The 2 I just wrote on top can now reduce with a 20 in the bottom by 2. 2 going to 2 1 time, 2 going to 20 10 times. So 10 and 3 down here, 7 on top. There's nothing else I can reduce. So my answer is going to be positive 7 over 30. All right, now you can pause the video and give this one a try. All right, let's give this a try. 17 over 44, positive divided by negative. Positive divided by negative will give me a negative answer. So I'm not going to look at this negative sign here anymore because I know my final answer will be negative. So my 17 over 44 divided by 34 over 28 means times the reciprocal, which will become 28 over 34. All right, so I know my 28 on top can reduce with 34 over the 44 by 2. So I'm just going to do 20 and 34, reduce them by 2. 2 will go into 28 14 times. All right, 2 go into 34. Well, I know 2 go into 3 1 time. Remainder is 1. Bring down the 4. 2 go into 14 is 17 times. So when I reduce 34 by 2, that gives me 17. And I see there's another 17 on top. So the 17 and the 17 can be reduced by 17 itself. So that will be 1 and 1. I know the 14 and 44 can be reduced by 2. So that gives me a 7 up here. 2 going to 14 7 times. 2 going to 44 22 times. And I think that's it for the reducing. All right, my final answer, negative 7 over 22. All right, so when it comes to division of a fraction, we got to remember to times by the reciprocal for the second fraction in yonder. Okay, first fraction will always stay the same. All right, that will conclude this video. Thank you for watching.